in a month even.
Good evening, keepers of the cast. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and welcoming back into the guest host
DJ Gary B. Pew, 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 pew.
we have Rob, the fattest stack of comics in the land.
Hey,
How you doing, sir?
Wait, that's trademarked. I can't use that one. Stick around. No, I can't use that one.
Keep it casual.
Hey there, comic friends and fiends. There you go. That one's mine. I can use that.
And of course, the guest of honor this evening. Very gracious of her to accept the invitation and come on the show. Carrie from Officially Unofficial Geek. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, good. Excited to see what books you bring. I know the little bit of talking, that messaging we did back and forth, that you were excited to pick some out.
Yes.
So I hope that excitement continued throughout your
Picking
choosing
process. Yeah, because that
it's like when you were talking to Joe a few days ago, and you guys were talking about how it was hard to pick 10 and then 11 and 12, and then you have to, because like at first you go through stages, right? So like at first you're like, man, I don't know, can I pick 10? Like, do I have enough to pick 10? And then you're like, oh wow, you're sitting there, and I at one point had a stack of 20, right? And then I was like, but wait, I didn't pick this, but wait, I didn't pick this. So even though I was like eliminating books from the stack,
you put them back on.
well, no, I was adding new ones.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely, like you guys were talking about the other night, I definitely can probably do a second one of these. Probably. I was like, man, can I do 20? But no, I picked 10 and then the 1 and the 1. Yeah. So I did it. I figured it out.
Bravo. That's why I had to go with just a theme, just to try to limit myself.
I could have done that. I almost did. I almost went with a theme.
It's fun because everybody, the great thing I love about this show is everybody brings their own flavor to it, which is a lot of fun.
I could have totally gone with a Harley Quinn theme.
Oh yeah.
But then I it is my goal to someday, somehow, some way, be like known as a expert on Harley Quinn. And so I am trying to build that whole full collection, not just a run, but a full Harley Quinn collection.
Nice.
So just the Harley Quinn titles, or all the one-off appearances and whatnot as well too?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, because like I have full volume 1, 2, 3, 4, all the Black Label books that have come out, the Black Label, the Harley Quinn and the Gang of Harleys.
I want that. Mm-hmm.
But there's a bunch of also, secret titles and other, like, just one-off appearances and everything else that get really crazy. I mean, obviously you have to have Batman Adventures 12, and you have to have
oh god, here's the thing though, and we might get into that more later. I did have it at one time. Okay, so here's the deal. I was a little girl. And I watched Batman the Animated Series. Excuse me. I have some like
it's hard when you think of a character you really love. It gets you.
Woo! Full disclosure, guys. Full disclosure. I have a cold. I had the first cold that I have had in like over 2 years.
Oh.
That's because now we're venturing out and actually dealing with people now.
Well, while you're getting the whistle wet, we'll say hi to the chat real quick for you.
Great idea.
All right, so joining us this evening, Black Swamp Comics. How you doing? Jean Malo, how you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Psychedelic Comics, good evening. Bizarro Fett, thanks for checking in on her. We'll take good care of her, we promise. Dope Comics coming up this Thursday on a special Thursday night, the 1011. So stay tuned for that.
So no in the hot seat then.
No hot seat this week.
Okay.
Broke Cup of Comics, how you doing? Broke Cuz of Comics, I mean. I got him and Cuppy sandwiched together there for a second.
Ooh.
And Brandon Looney Tunes, good evening, sir. Diamond Princess, good evening. Las Cruces, how you doing tonight, sir? And Zach's Collections, nice to see you, buddy. A Surfer, Brian LCS. All right, the people are rolling in, and let's get back to your story real quick.
Okay. All right. So I think I'm ready now. I think I'm good. Yeah. All right. I watched Batman the Animated Series as a little girl, and I loved Harley Quinn since that moment. And I remember, it's amazing what you remember as a little kid because, or as an adult from your childhood, because I actually did buy one of those. Mm-hmm. And I have absolutely no idea what happened to it.
Oh.
Well, maybe one day you'll be lucky to clean a junk drawer and pull it out of your junk drawer like I did my ASM 300.
I doubt it. I think it's probably sitting in a landfill somewhere. It's and the thing is it's one of those things where it's like, maybe I might obtain that at some point in my life, but at one time I had it and I remember having it.
Well,
Did
even
you
if you did
grab the facsimile when it came out?
No, I
the
didn't
dollar
get that.
the dollar book. Yeah, it was a DC dollar book, but there's a bunch of con reprints with variant covers that are very reasonable in the grand scheme of things.
One as recent as 2009, I believe, that had it was I thought I saw one as recent as 2009 where it had a virgin cover of that Alex Ross.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them because that have been done. I just sent off one of the con ones. I can't remember which one it was, but I had one that was already signed by Bruce Timm. I just sent it off to the Paul Dini signing so I could have Paul Dini and Bruce Timm signed on it.
Wow.
Because I wasn't going to crack my original. So.
Okay,
man.
Before we get into her first book, let me ask you both this. What's your favorite Harley costume? The modern one or when she first started with the Jester outfit?
I'm going to say you got to go for the Jester.
Yep. 100% agree.
Yeah.
The OG costume is just it's a character that's changed and development, right? I mean, because the Jester costume, she's very much sidekick and punching bag mode versus as she developed it, her costume got more risque and everything else. She's also more confident in herself and more of a anti-hero unto herself.
Yes. But have you guys ever heard about the story about where that came from?
Amanda Connor's story about what she did with it, or are you talking
No. I'm talking about the history of Harley Quinn. So Paul Dini, actually, he was friends with a woman from school, Arlene Sorkin, who ended up voicing Harley Quinn, who is also a soap opera actress. Wow. And I believe it was in Days of Our Lives. She was doing some scene. I mean, if I am wrong on the name of the soap, I apologize. But Arlene Sorkin, who ended up voicing Harley Quinn, was one of the inspirations for Harley Quinn. And she did this dream sequence scene where she's dressed up.
The story now.
Yeah, where she's dressed up as a clown. And Paul Dini was like, hey, wouldn't this be cool?
Yeah, no, I do vaguely recall that story now, though. Yeah.
Right.
All right, nice.
And-
Well, let's see our first book. Let's get into some books here.
Okay, so I'm not going to start with Harley. Just so you know.
We set it all up for that, but
we did. I mean, I could.
No, do you.
All right. So, the first book I'm going to show is a rebooted first appearance.
Okay.
It's from Batman. One of my other really big favorite characters is Jason Todd.
Okay.
Now, the original first appearance of Jason Todd, he was basically made to look like a Dick Grayson clone.
Yep.
Okay. To be honest, he that first the hair, yes, the fact that he's a trapeze artist, all that shit, right?
Yeah. Trapeze artist whose parents were killed, and then they have him dye his hair black, and yeah.
Batman didn't dig too deep, huh?
Did not. Now you have Crisis on Infinite Earths happens. And after that, one of these, reboots and everything like that. And then you have this, what I like to consider his first appearance. Come on. It's the one everyone talks about. And that is when he is brazen enough to try to steal the goddamn wheels off the Batmobile.
Wow.
This is guts here, guys.
Yeah.
This is guts.
It pretty much is recognized as the first Jason Todd, even though there's that other one that you're speaking of. It's not really, it's just kind of like missteps people talk about.
You know what's really funny about that same one? I believe it's also the first appearance of Killer Croc.
Yeah.
See, now you know that he's about to get a butt whooping by Batman, though.
You know, if I remember correctly, I think Batman kind of thinks it's funny.
Yeah, this is where he's at the orphanage or whatever that's being run by actually a crime family, and it's trying to raise the kids to be criminals. And
yeah, this is a baby of mine, because I will joke around in chats on my channel, everything like that, that Jason Todd is, as Red Hood, is my comic book boyfriend. I love Red Hood. I just do. Yeah.
Very good.
That character has a big following. You're not the only one.
The
thing is, nobody liked him as Robin. They only liked him once he came back as Red Hood.
Well, what's really funny? Have you guys heard the whole thing about, I don't know how true this is, but supposedly somebody uncovered some kind of like deal where the phone-in thing was rigged by somebody. So I mean, if for everyone in the chat, everyone watching, if you don't know the story, basically in Death in the Family, they put a phone number where you could call and you could be like, does Robin live or die? And you could call and say, hey, I want him to live or I want him to die.
I think there's two different phone numbers, and you dialed in depending what you wanted.
Yeah.
There were 900 numbers back in the day. So if your parents didn't have it blocked and you could call in, then you called this number to have them live or this number to have them die, type thing.
It was great publicity for the book.
And it was one of those things where it came down to only a handful of votes actually made the decision which way it went, and both scenarios were drawn out. As to what happens on the
supposedly, if this person that had arranged this had not acted in this way, he definitely would have lived.
I don't know how you rig it, because it was, unless you just had a bunch of your friends all call in. I mean, that's not really rigging. That's just what happens in any kind of.
They never planned on following the phone calls in the first place.
I don't know. I think that we use the concept of death to tell stories and complicate things in comics. as we're finding, I read, guys, you're gonna find out I read a lot of DC. When I re-entered back into comics and collecting the way I do now, I got into it at a time that was perfect to dive into DC Comics. And I just read something a couple weeks ago that it was just like one of the most, thought about deaths in the comic, thought about still making impact deaths in comic books that's happened over the last 10 years is now just coming back up again. And I don't want, since it's a fairly new comic, I don't want to be like, spoilers, everybody, but it is a DC book, and if you're not reading it, you should. But
now, what do you think? Have you seen his depiction on Titans?
I hate it.
Thank you. The actor they got to play him was just. I don't like the way they have him portraying the character. It might not be his fault. It might be the direction, but
I think it's a lot of the writing, though. Actually, to be honest with you.
And all of a sudden, he went from getting whooped by everybody to whooping everybody within like hardly any time.
And if you've read Under the Red Hood, that storyline where honestly, okay, so you have Under the Red Hood, the book, right? And then you have Under the Red Hood, the cartoon movie. And then you have Titans and how they handled the whole Red Hood thing in Titans, okay? So you have Under the Red Hood, which is masterpiece. Judd Winick wrote it. Then you have the cartoon movie, which, guys, it ain't that far off from the comic and the book. And in the ways that it's different, is great. And it's also written by Judd Winick. Then you have Titans, which they could have told the most awesome freaking story. And they made Red Hood a pawn of the Scarecrow. It was upsetting.
And addicted to that little stuff. And then they completely handicapped Superboy for the whole season, or else he could have had everything wrapped up in like one episode.
Yeah. But for me, it was how they did Red Hood. And honestly, I don't like how they portray Nightwing either. It does not sit well with me.
I was happy to see Barbara Gordon, though.
I am. I was happy to see Barbara Gordon, especially since we're not going to be getting Batgirl anytime soon. So,
bro, because of comics, I'm with you on season 2. From what I heard, we should stop now.
Mm-hmm.
No, there is some good Donna Troy stuff.
Donna Troy, the storyline involving Donna Troy at the end of the most recent season. That is one of the things. Donna Troy. And
Hawk and Dove.
Yes, that stuff good. Okay. But when it comes to the whole Red Hood thing, because in Under the Red Hood, he is taking over his own little sect of crime in Gotham, but he's also kind of revamping, how things are done so that it's like, you can't sell near kids. You can't sell to kids. You can't, like, that's all like rules that he makes that he strong arms into Under the Red Hood. But then when you take a character such as Jason Todd and you make him a lackey for the Scarecrow,
yeah, no. It was rough. Some of that.
And it's not even, to me, it's not even the actor. I will say that I did enjoy, I forget her name, the actress that plays Rose Wilson. I liked her.
She was good. All right, book number 2.
Book number 2, staying with the Batman. I'm so glad that Batman Day happened recently because I got a reprint of this and I decided to include it. Hush.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One of my favorite Batman stories right here. Hush. And I love how many different layers it has. Because on one hand, you are trying to figure out, well, what's the deal with this Hush dude? Right. And then on the other hand, you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, this whole Bruce and Selina Batman Catwoman thing. Yes. It's so, I remember reading Hush and it becoming one of my very favorite Batman stories. Obviously it's a Jeff Loeb tale, and we've got art by Jim Lee, and so what could go wrong?
That's actually a storyline I've never read.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so many different layers to it. You have the whole like, oh my God, what's going on with this Hush dude? And then, oh my God, what's going on? And you're experiencing this dynamic between Bruce and Selina, Catwoman and Batman. That's just like, I obsess over music as well. And sometimes like I'll get like songs in my head that are kind of like soundtracks to what I'm reading. And the song that always kept on coming up in my brain while reading Hush, it was one of those moments where I did keep on getting a song coming up while I was reading Hush, was Usher's Caught Up. Because you definitely have like elements of Bruce is definitely caught up on what's going on with him and Selina. And then, you have Tim Drake and you have Nightwing kind of being like, what's up, dude? And because they're noticing there's something going on there. And it's one of those things where it's like, you have this flirtation that's been happening for in the comics for decades. And I don't know what it is about the way Jeff Loeb writes the two of them together, but it's electric.
This works, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, book 3. All right, I might have to put Hush. I've heard so many things about it. I might have to put it on the reading list.
You should. You definitely should. We're gonna keep going with the Batman before we hop into some Harley. Taylor Lautner playing Hush. I don't know about that. Even though I understand Team Jacob a little bit better now that I'm a lot older than when it first came out. Seriously, Hush, read it. If you haven't, read it. Great. It's Jeff Loeb. Come on. How can you go wrong? We're going to get into Batman Rebirth era, Tom King, number 24. This one is the proposal.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. This is the proposal issue. This really gets to me. Tom King writing Batman gets to me in a good way.
I was just going to ask, in what way?
In a good way, because I've included that. Let me see here. I'm trying to remember. I've included other Tom King works tonight as well. So, spoiler alert. If you have months ago on my channel, I did a series where I was reading the first appearances of characters. And one of the first appearances that I did was I read the first appearance of the Cat, i.e. Catwoman, all that. But in the first appearance of Catwoman, she is not referred to as Catwoman. She's referred to as the Cat. That was Batman number 1 from 1940. And the deal with that is in that first meeting of the Cat and Batman, she has stolen something. Obviously, it's Catwoman. Okay. So she's stolen a huge diamond, a huge piece of jewelry, and she gets found out and they take it back from her, and all that happens. Okay. Batman hijinks ensues. He kind of lets her go, lets her escape, and Robin calls him out on it, and he's like, no, not totally not the deal at all.
You'll understand when you're older, Robin.
Yeah. So this issue, number 24, The Proposal, is beautiful because there's one moment, Tom King, God bless you, he calls back to that moment. And he says, the Batman says, after that night when we first, encountered each other, I went back and I bought that piece of jewelry so that I could have it fashioned into this ring.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So he's keeping track of his history.
And that, friends, was the last of the good Tom King Batman stories.
Oh man, no, I
the next 25 issues were a little rough as he goes through and kills off Alfred. And
I did love his Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, though. It was great.
Tom King is great for about 2/3 of the run.
But you know what?
Whether it's Batman or anything else.
I actually have not gotten to read City of Bane yet, but I am well aware of the big moment that happens in that one.
Spoiler, sorry.
No, it is okay because, when I jumped in, I read right away. I read Joker War, which is Tinian. And that is not the first story that Tinian did. He did Their Dark Designs first. But right before that was the end of Tom King's run. And I have the trade for City of Bane. It is on the stack to be read. But I'm fully prepared for that moment, so to speak.
Cole, I'm going to have to back Rob's mustache on this one.
Well, Cole shaved it off, but
no.
Cole, I don't know what you're talking about. He didn't do another 50 issues. He was kicked off the title after about issue 74. So there's no way that he could have gone another 50 issues after 49. If you're talking about the death of Alfred, that, yes, it didn't happen in 49. I know that. It happened, again, like in issue like 70 or something like that.
And he was off the book on 85, I believe.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah. Then he goes off and writes Batman Catwoman, which is like taking a story and putting it in a blender and mixing it up. So then it's worse than Pulp Fiction trying to understand what the
oh my God, you had that problem too.
Yes. He did the same thing in Strange Adventures that he did, where everything is back and forth and jump and forth and what.
I swear to God, what I do plan, because to me, I think that nowadays a run such as like around 85 issues, like the guy had to have been doing something right to get that long of a run. And I want to know, because supposedly Batman Catwoman is what he would have wanted to do with the rest of the run.
Yeah. Really? Where?
So I read like a number of the issues in the beginning of Batman Catwoman, and I had this theory that maybe reading them all together in one sitting might make it easier to understand, but I had a problem with the time jumps. The time jumps were a problem. The only time I didn't have a problem with a time jump in the part of it that I did read was whenever Selena was old. Then I understood.
If you just read Bronze Age and Silver Age books, you'll just get a straightforward story.
I like complicated stories.
Don't get me wrong. I still read everything. All right, number 4, Carrie.
Okay, so you came here. You knew you were going to be seeing some Harley Quinn. So, are we ready for some Harley Quinn?
Oh, we're ready. Let's see.
This is
Terry Dodson cover.
Oh, Terry Dodson? No, I believe not. Nope. No. That would be Sean Gordon Murphy.
Okay, it looked like Terry Dodson for a second.
No, not even close.
This is Murphy. Mrs. Murphy, because this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is my Pied Piper. This right here, I was here and there with comics, hadn't done much with them in a long time. Right here. This is the thing that brought me back.
Jumped in both feet, huh?
Yeah, this is. I remember going to the comic book shop with my boyfriend. Joe, he was reading random, Star Wars comics at the time. He had heard about some stuff going on. He was looking at some trades, and I was like, I like Harley Quinn. What's this? And yeah, that's him. That's my boyfriend. That's Joe. The Harley Quinn. I like Harley Quinn. And I was like, what's Batman White Knight? Well, Batman White Knight is the Murphyverse. And the Murphyverse is Sean Gordon Murphy. And he is brilliant. So this is an alternate universe. Basically, it was like DC gave him a Black Label universe, the Batman White Knight universe, and said, there you go. And out of that came, and we'll see more of it later, but out of that came in the beginning Batman White Knight, Batman White Knight, Curse of the White Knight, Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn, and most recently Batman White Knight presents Beyond the White Knight. But right now we're talking about Harley. So what if, so you see this cover, and it's really awesome cover, right?
Right.
And then you see this. The Joker is dead. Batman is behind bars. In a new age of villains, only Harley can save Gotham.
Oh, Gotham's kind of screwed, huh?
Oh, no. Oh, nay, nay. Oh, nay, nay. No. Harley Quinn in the White Knight universe, the Murphyverse, is one badass lady. Yeah. She is awesome. I mean, come on. Even in normal Batman Gothamverse, Harley is smart, tough, resourceful. Anyone that thinks otherwise, no, dude, you need to read more. Read more.
Just crazy enough to get the job done.
The thing is like recently they had a weekly story with Harley Quinn. Not necessarily the stuff you want to write home about, but it definitely displayed a few things about Harley. One, she is one of the smartest people in Gotham. She could rival Batman. Two, she is like Rob said, just crazy enough to get the job done, because there are several moments where everyone is and the team is arguing amongst themselves, and she's figuring it out.
She just goes off and does it.
She goes off and does it. She's just like, okay, guys, here we go. We need to figure out how to teleport somewhere. I'm pretty sure this is it. I've been looking around and I got this figured out. While y'all are arguing over there, I figured it out. And that's Harley Quinn. And Harley legit solves the case and gets on the case. And she is basically in this story, she is a kind of a correspondent resource for the Gotham PD in solving a serial killer case.
And is that a one-shot?
No, sir. No. It is a 6-issue story, and it's really great. It's awesome. If you guys have not read any of the Murphyverse, and cannot recommend it enough. Cannot. Sean Gordon Murphy, I don't know what it is about how he writes Batman and like Gotham and all that, but it was like catnip to my cat sensitivity. Huh? Mm-hmm. Because you have like when you have Batman White Knight, and it totally turns everything on its ear, it's like, okay, I'm addicted. I'm addicted now.
Gary,
Nice.
here you go. Here's your Dodson.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that is
isn't that
Dodson.
awesome? Isn't that awesome? That's not one of the covers I got.
No, but that's fantastic.
I got some cool stuff. Like, is
Let you
that
hold that up. The other one's not even close.
What? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Because I love his Captain Marvel too.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, Carrie.
More Harley Quinn. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yep.
This is from the Connor Palamani run, and
Yes.
this is Harley Quinn number 25. This is, I came out in early 2016. I was not collecting nearly as heavily as I am now. And it was a time period I was not reading Harley Quinn at the time. Your myth that you can't see your Jackson figure behind me. Oh, wow. Let's see here. Can I move and you can see it? Okay, so I think
it's about you anyways. Don't let him take over your
you know, it is pretty well hidden though, unfortunately. Yeah.
Besides, we're showing off Amanda Connor Harley Quinn. Right. So
yeah. We do love Star Wars here, but yeah, Noggin Comics, Murphy is a beast with Batman. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, Harley Quinn number 25, early 2016. Before I met that gentleman in the chat, I had gone through a couple really bad, like emotionally scarring relationships, and I heard about this issue. And I was getting over one, and I was still dealing with the one that happened before that. And I heard about how Harley Quinn beats the shit out of the Joker. And it's basically like, you and me, never again. And it's just, I had to have it. I did not have an LCS at the time. I just went online and I found some place and I ordered it and I got it in the mail, and it caused my bank to shut my card down because it was unlike my normal like purchases.
Oh, wow.
So, but I got that cleared up. Everything's fine. But now I have this forever.
And I like to, like, I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not the biggest Harley fan, but I like that the character has grown past the Joker.
Yes.
Into her own thing, that they didn't keep her as the sidekick.
Right. Because she's so much better than that. And I love how her story has grown to the point where she is nowhere near where she started. And that's not only for like her, escaping the Joker. That's also, how her origin story has altered, and how people view her origin story. When you look at Batman Harley Quinn number 1, and you see the way Paul Dini is writing her, which is OG Harley Quinn, but basically makes it look like she slept her way through medical school.
Pretty lazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. So then you look at the way that character origin has evolved, and you get it to the point where it's Harley Quinn is one of the smartest people in Gotham. Harley Quinn was a doctor. She has a PhD. She has all these things. She is exactly everything you think she should be,
Now, What did you
Did you read?
think of Margot Robbie playing her? What do you think of that casting?
Loved it. I loved it. To
Now,
me, I know some of the complaints that there were out there of her. Um, no, I don't see it. I
I
don't
don't
see
have
it.
any problems with Margot Robbie as Harley. I thought she's great in the role. She totally embraces it 100%. So,
Mm-hmm.
thought she's
Yeah.
really great casting. I just didn't like the one movie Birds of Prey because the writing was horrible in it.
Uh-oh.
There's more to you can dislike it only because for another reason what they did to Cassandra Cain in that movie,
Okay,
taking her teeth out.
I'm gonna give
Right.
you the anger over Cassandra Cain. I'm gonna give that to you, Rob. But Gary B,
Yeah.
no,
And
I wanted to
no.
like that movie. I watched it with all the optimism in the world, and I had trouble finishing it.
it's
If you watch it as just a really fun movie that encompasses um some of the
coming into her
best
own.
some of the best crap about Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Hi, Sheena. If you just watch it like that and not expect it to actually really make sense when it comes to the comics at all, except for the fact that it encompasses the character of Harley Quinn so well, it's a lot of
Margot's great
fun.
as Harley. No
It's a lot
complaints
of
there.
fun.
It
Yeah.
captures
It's
some good
it's one
elements.
of my favorites.
And
Like
I think it helped me too because I had never seen Margot Robbie in anything until Harley Quinn. I'm sorry, Rob, you were making a point, bud?
I was simply saying that I thought that the movie, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, where it really kind of encapsulates some of the elements of the Amanda Connor style of
Yes.
growing of that character, and some of some of it's just off the wall, some of it's fourth wall breaking, some of it's just growing into her own and woman power
Mhm.
and or empowering of a character who's been repressed and pushed down, and just being free and like kind of anarchy almost unto yourself.
And you
But
literally see that like throughout the whole movie. That's the journey you get in that
right.
movie. Mhm.
It's shedding the shackles that have been put on you and going off on your
Mhm.
own. But there are elements of it that are a little bit out there. And like I said, for me, the worst thing is because I'm a huge Cassandra Cain Batgirl fan, and to see what they did with that character was
I
just
think that they could have put
villain.
put
It could
another
have been,
character's name on it,
yeah,
and it the
would have been
character would
fine.
have had just as much impact on the story.
Would have had more
I think
impact by not being Cassandra Cain.
exactly. And I think by putting the name Cassandra Cain on there, you're wanting this notoriety by the name, and it's
Right.
not working with the character. When somebody says Cassandra Cain, you're expecting one thing, and then you get
Now,
completely
Well, I
something
think
different.
Cassandra Cain's a big enough character. When you have her, she's got to have her own movie. She's got to be the star of it, not.
Well, we got to be
well,
able to get a Batgirl
true,
movie
true.
first. I
Yeah,
mean, like
exactly.
we
Before
got
you
to
get
be
the second Batgirl.
I mean, a second. She's pretty much the third Batgirl by
No, she's
now.
the
I mean,
first in my books, but they,
I'm a Barbara Gordon person, but I do like Cassandra Cain as
she could
well.
be Oracle. That's fine.
you know
The
what?
Yes.
who got the first
Stephanie Brown needs some love
Batgirl
too.
title? The first Batgirl title though was Cassandra Cain. Just
Stephanie
saying.
Brown needs some love though too. As
No,
spoiler.
I like her as spoiler. Yeah, she's good as
Mhm,
spoiler.
mhm.
But aside from the movie, before we get in the next book, I had did you, when you're talking about the origin of Harley, did you read the the Harleen stuff and their take on it at all?
That's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, there's like this certain time period where it seems like the more around the time that Harleen came out, um, where that's kind of more becoming the more typical look at her origin,
Right.
where she is this talented doctor having this, theory that she wants to research and work on, and she ends up working with the Joker, and now hell breaks loose. That is a mindset about Harley that has shown up in the Stephanie Phillips run. In particular, when recently with the weekly Harley special, Harley Goes to Space thing, she's talking to Luke Fox about her work. and it's in particular she's talking about the project that she did that they talk about in Harleen. So I love that is becoming. I believe my viewpoint is that I'm very excited to see what Teenie Howard is going to be doing with Harley Quinn. I really am. Sweeney Boo and Teenie Howard, they're coming in March. I'm excited about that, but I'm going to say that even with there being ups and downs in the storyline, Stephanie Phillips writes Harley Quinn like she actually loves her. Like Harley Quinn is her friend.
Tough for me. I tell you, the style of the interior art has been so jarring to me. I should say is the right word, jarring. Not that it's bad. It's just not what I'm used to or want. That it has been extremely difficult. I find it. I will try to read, but the art is so distracting that I end up just putting them down. And I've just been picking them up, the Derek Chew covers.
I've got all of them.
And aside from that, I'm like, oh, all right, these just go in my box for now.
Once you get to the weekly, the Task Force XX run, yes, Riley Rossmo is no longer on the art. So you can you are not the first, second, third, or fourth person.
Right.
I've heard say that about the artwork. I think for if this were a young adult format, a young adult graphic novel format, Harley Quinn story, that artwork, no, whatever. Go ahead. Run wild.
Gary, we're going to set a record here. This is, so you know, this will be the longest episode ever. And no fault to anybody that you brought somebody on here that I'm really, really having a fun conversation with, and I'm awake.
Well, that's good.
Not that any of the other guests before weren't good guests, but
well, you know, I think that Riley Rossmo is also going to be doing the Tim Drake book coming out. Actually, I think it comes out this week.
Cool.
See, hopefully Teenie Howard does well for you, because I found her writing really up and down. Because
I love Catwoman.
She's done some rough stuff with Spider-Woman to me. So
I'm not familiar.
She nailed the humor, but people are nailing the humor with Spider-Woman, but they're not nailing the serious side of the character of Jessica Drew, which I need them to nail.
Well, we're gonna be discussing Teenie Howard in a moment. And in fact, you know what? We'll go ahead. Are we on book 6 already?
No, I think it's book 4. I think
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. 5. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you're better than me.
Track.
This is dedicated to my Batman Adventures number 12 that I lost, that we were talking about earlier. This is Catwoman number 43. Now, why am I choosing Catwoman number 43, written by Teenie Howard? First appearance of Red Claw. Now, there's question marks everywhere. Who is Red Claw? Well, I'll tell you who Red Claw is. Red Claw is an assassin that actually originated, like Harley Quinn did, in Batman the Animated Series.
Oh.
This is her first appearance in print.
Oh. That's it. Everybody go run and buy it up.
And this lovely Jenny Friesen cover.
I was reading the Catwoman series until about issue 25 or so, and I finally called no joy. I didn't see it going much of anywhere.
What?
I know.
You stopped. You stopped in the Rom V run, or that was one of the legit.
Right,
like when I was
talking about right after we had Father Luigi, whatever the assassin.
Father Valley comes in, and he's the assassin that's been hired by Penguin, right? Okay, so Penguin, that little MFer, whatever. But the story that happens, I swear to God, if you read that Monstrosity Fear State storyline,
I paged through it.
Oh my God. Okay, so the only good parts really of Fear State are the Catwoman and Harley Quinn parts. And it's stuff for Catwoman that starts before that when she finds that piece of Ivy.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Okay,
God.
all the stuff, yeah.
That was one of the best issues. In fact, that was one of the ones that I almost put in this stack.
Now, do you think that it was brilliant of DC to put Harley Quinn and Ivy together? Because she seemed to
Yes.
pop even more as a character once those two got together. And it seemed like an instant chemistry between the characters and the reading audience.
I think that you see it even early on in the animated series where
And I heard
pairing
that
those
series
two.
is fantastic, the animated.
Yes. Pairing if you've never seen Batman the animated series with Kevin Conroy voicing Batman,
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Bruce Wayne. Okay. So the pairing of Harley Quinn and Ivy that happens every once in a while there, all the way back to there, it's perfect. There are a lot of people that want to, woo 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 all the time about the Joker and Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn's greatest love, the Joker. No.
That's a toxic relationship.
Mm-mm. Harley Quinn's true love is Pamela Isley. No matter what. No matter what. Harley Quinn's true love always will be Pamela Isley.
And the stuff that they're doing now on the current animated series on HBO and the Kill Bang whatever the hell tour comic. Oh my God, so good, so much fun.
In fact, it's made me not really like the Poison Ivy comic.
Why is she not in it?
Harley Quinn is not in it. Basically, the Poison Ivy comic takes place after Fear State. So if you've never read Fear State, I'll tell you the best parts of it and I will take care of it for you. The best parts involve Catwoman and Harley Quinn and basically the rush to put Pamela Isley back together. There are two parts of Pamela Isley, two parts of Ivy. You have Ivy and then you have Queen Ivy. And Queen Ivy basically is angry and hates everyone and is about 2 seconds away from destroying all of Gotham. And then you have Ivy, whom Catwoman happens to stumble upon and has been keeping safe. And they put them back together as one. Okay. So it's two parts of Ivy that are brought back together. And then you have Ivy. Well, Ivy decides she's gonna run off on her own because she is not ready to become a hero like Harley is. So she goes off on her own and supposedly she is dying from some fungus and she is going to destroy all of humanity, all animals, all everything. And she eventually is also believes that she's going to die. And she's doing this supposedly all for Harley. Now, in the first issue of Poison Ivy, she kills cows. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Harley Quinn is not going to thank you for this, Pamela. Harley Quinn is not going to sit there because there is actual she's writing a journal and it's dressed like a letter to Harley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and how she knows that she's going to eventually die of this as well, and she's creating this world where there's no humans, no animals, just beautiful plants and Harley Quinn. That's it. And I can't get on board with that because all that I know about the growth and everything like that that's happened with Harley Quinn is not going to thank you for that, Pamela. That's not going to happen. That's not going to make her happy. That's not having Harley Quinn alone on a planet with nobody to talk to.
Right.
Yep.
And it would stop the character from growing.
Well, it certainly would do that. Yes. And it would just be like right there in the first, I remember reading the first issue and I was like, you just killed some cows. Harley Quinn would look at it and be like, why you got to kill the moo cows?
Yeah, she needs those for the Coney Island hot dogs.
Exactly. And before that, she's going to name them Betsy and Arnold, like, that's Harley Quinn. That's not the idea of Harley Quinn being alone on the planet with just plants is no, I don't like it.
Cool take, Gore.
All right.
All right, so on number 7, Carrie.
Okay, let's go back to some more Batman / Harley. We're gonna go to Batman White Knight number 1.
And you said you didn't have a theme.
I could have, like I said, I could have done all Harley.
Oh no, this is awesome. The fun part is hearing you talk about stuff you like, so have at it.
This, after I read Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn, I got all that done. I was like, I gotta read White Knight. So this is Batman White Knight number 1 by Sean Murphy.
Oh.
Now, this is the 4th printing, and I have a first printing as well.
And a pretty cool cover. Like Joker looks maniacal on that in the bottom.
Oh, but yeah, in the bottom, maniacal, but he looks quite dapper right up here. And that's the point. Okay, so check this out, right? Batman White Knight. What would happen if all of a sudden the Joker took a medicine and he wasn't crazy anymore? He becomes the White Knight.
Oh.
So this is what would happen if the Joker
Was cured.
Supposedly.
Oh, cool concept.
Cured. Yeah. So this is the 4th print of number 1. And I decided to choose this over the first print of number 1 because obviously we've got Harley on the cover right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great story. Like, seriously. It's one of the best things ever.
All right, number 8.
Okay. Let's go ahead and break
Yeah,
ranks.
E-Man's World of Geek. Just waiting for Carrie to share Batman books. I wonder if she'll ever get to them.
Well,
getting friendly trolled.
Man, Cole, them's fighting words because
she's been in about 4 fights tonight.
Okay, but he did say he did like the Harley Quinn one though. I'm gonna give him that. The one that's going on right now, Beyond the White Knight, so cool. So cool so far. We're gonna change paths a little bit.
All right. We're ready.
Still DC, because that's me. Tom King again. But The Human Target number 4. This is a recent book. And let me tell you something. Tom King got a fan right here with this one. Okay, so if you're not reading The Human Target, it is, again, another Black Label book. I love these Black Label books, okay? And Tom King and Greg Smallwood does the art. Now, this is number 4. And I just want to show you some of this. Like this Greg Smallwood. Oh my God. Okay. So like the story is this. The Human Target, Christopher Chance, takes basically, he's the human target. So He takes hits and death threats for people that hire him, and so that these people don't get killed.
Oh.
Okay. So he does a job for Lex Luthor. And he gets severely poisoned in the process. And he is trying to figure out who poisoned him because he has 12 days to live. And each issue is a different day. So before he dies, he's trying to figure out, hence the calendar here in the back. And it's marking off days. Let me just find an example of this Smallwood art. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my artist buddy Ken Wheaton is a big Human Target fan. He's been enjoying this run.
Look at this.
Oh, the original Blue Beetle costume. I love it.
Uh-huh. And then ice. Oh.
That's
So
my
you-
favorite Blue Beetle.
It's not
Yeah?
the original. Come on.
Oh my god, look at this bear. That's so cool.
That is fun. The
Okay.
Ice Bear? Like, who's freezing him? Is that Mr. Freeze putting it on him?
No, that's Ice. From Justice League International. Ice.
Oh, okay.
Let me find a good picture of Ice though. This is Ice.
Oh.
So Christopher Chance is the Human Target. He's trying to figure out who poisoned him. And he ends up in this situation with Ice, and he pretty much knows it has to deal with her. But he's also falling in love with her. And in this issue, she has taken him to go interview and hang out with the Blue Beetle. Now, in a previous issue, she took him to hang out with Booster Gold. And they went and they talked to Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is a big asshole in this book series. He is a horrible, horrible asshole. Like, not even just like Guy Gardner asshole, like Guy Gardner deluxe asshole. Okay. But this issue, basically, he ends up in this position. The Human Target ends in this position where he is seeing the Blue Beetle and Ice going around stopping crimes and fighting crimes and doing all that kind of stuff, right? And the whole book, when you're reading it the first time, you're just like, what's the point of this issue? Where is this going? What the hell am I supposed to be getting from this? And then it hits you like a ton of bricks. When you have the narration from Christopher Chance going on, and he just starts talking about everything that he's noticing, and he's not spitting it out in the narration at first. And then he gets to this point where he's just like, it's all about her.
Wow.
It's all about Ice. It's all about this woman, because she could have taken care of all this herself. She could have done all this. She didn't need Blue Beetle to do anything, but she let him help. She is the OG, the bomb, the, no diggity, no doubt. Okay. He comes to this realization. This is a god. This is a goddess in front of me. And he walks into his hotel room and he realizes he's about ready to get with that goddess.
Wow.
And I just remember reading that on a Sunday morning and just being like hit like a ton of bricks by the way Tom King writes this. Okay. It's just, I can't even like, I'm a writer and I can't even like, blows my fucking mind. I'm sorry. I said fuck. Is that okay?
It's okay.
Okay. This is an adult show. All right. Okay.
Yes.
It just blew my fucking mind the way he presented it. And to the point where I'm talking about it for like probably about an hour afterwards. Like, I'm sitting there with my boyfriend, like, and he is also reading. I wasn't even reading this book. I wasn't even reading this series until he convinced me to read it. And just sitting there like, oh my God, just my mind blown by the absolute way that this guy writes that viewpoint, that romantic like moment where it just hits you like a ton of bricks. Like he is amazed by this woman. He doesn't just think she's hot. He doesn't just think she's pretty. He doesn't just think, hey, you know, she's got 2 legs and boobs. Let's do it. Like, he's just like amazed.
Yeah, completely enamored on every level, huh?
Yeah, he's amazed by this woman. And wow.
Huh. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. So back to Harley Quinn, guys.
Oh, all right. So book 9?
It is. I'm going to tell you right now. It is book 9. It is the last you're going to see of Harley Quinn this evening.
All right.
But I have Harley Quinn number 75. This one chosen mostly because people are like, Harley Quinn, yeah, you know, she's just a lackey for the Joker. What makes her so badass? Well, let me tell you something. The second tale in this, the backup story, a Joker war tie-in, it says up there, right? Yeah, right there. In that second tale, Harley Quinn comes in contact for the second time with one Punchline. Now, Punchline is the Joker's new girlfriend. And she is bad news. And Harley Quinn has already come in contact with Punchline and already fought her once. This is round 2. And it's right at the beginning of the Joker War and the Joker War saga. And it is really cool because one of the most badass moments of Harley Quinn ever happens right here. And she loses her fight with Punchline. Punchline, wow. Yeah, she does. But
I wouldn't have guessed that.
You wouldn't have, but hold on. You got your socks on? You're going to have to hold on to them for a second here. All right? Because you think, oh, crap, this is bad for Harley because Punchline slits her neck. Mm-hmm. Harley Quinn then goes home. After swimming in sewage, guys, this wouldn't happen in real life. Neither would this next part. She stitches up her own goddamn throat. She stitches up her own goddamn throat. And yeah, she's like, no, you will not get Harley Quinn that easily. I love Harley Quinn's resilience. Her streetwise sensibility, her resilience, her what do I want to say? She stitches up her own goddamn throat.
Yeah, badass.
And then the next time you see Harley Quinn, she's saving Batman. She's saving Batman, and the next time you see
her revenge?
Against Punchline?
Yeah.
Well, Harley Quinn's sights are, she does get into another fight with Punchline, but it also ends kind of tragically. In the Joker War, where when she finds Batman, she, spoiler alert, takes Batman because Batman is hallucinating and not doing very well. She takes him to Ivy's garden. And she feeds him something that should help him, makes him hallucinate a lot more. She's like, oh no, you can tell it's working because first you're going to trip balls and then you're going to feel better. And so she saves Batman's life. But in the middle of all that, Punchline finds them, shows up, and they get into a fight, and ends up burning down Ivy's garden. Which
pisses off Ivy.
it does piss her off very much. And that's when you get introduced to Queen Ivy. But Harley Quinn is more about getting out with Batman and that kind of thing. And she does fight Punchline, but it ends in Ivy's garden being destroyed. Now, when it comes closer to the end of Joker War, Harley is more concerned with ending a certain other character's life than it is for her dealing with Punchline. So, I mean, if you're gonna guess, you could probably guess which character in the Joker War Harley Quinn is more concerned with trying to kill. Yeah, and she obviously does not succeed at that. But it still
it's
makes
Bat Hound.
Yeah, it's the Bat Hound. That mangy mutt. He growled at Bud and Lou, like all wrong, and but yeah, so she gets stopped from that. But when it comes right down to it, Punchline ends up in jail and then ends up free. Yeah, so
they always get free, damn it.
Well, apparently we're gonna have a Punchline series coming out soon in DC. That's going to be dealing with what she deals with after that. And I know from what I can tell from previews, she is going to be crossing over with Catwoman soon. Punchline will be. So we might see Harley crossing over yet again with Catwoman.
Nice. All right, number 10.
Number 10. Still DC, guys.
Oh, it's quite all right. I've learned a lot about the characters tonight that I didn't know, so it's been fun.
Yeah. So here we are, another very special character to me besides Harley and besides Jason, would be Death.
Oh.
This is Death, of course, originated in Sandman, in Vertigo Comics, which is was an offshoot of DC. And so this is a kind of a crossover into DC. Lex Luthor Action Comics number 894, where Death comes to collect Lex Luthor.
Yeah, because I never knew she was on an action cover. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, this is actually where my tattoo comes from. I have a tattoo. I'm going to try and show it off here. It's upside down, but that's the first tattoo I ever got. And it is her eye. Yeah.
Now, who did the art on that cover?
Oh my goodness. Finch. Let me get a more specific.
Just because it stands out as a cover.
Yeah. Let's see here. I love it because she comes to pick up Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor is like, no, I'm not having that. David Finch, Bat, and Peter Stegerwald. So, like,
wow, great art.
Yeah. I absolutely. This is back from when I was a kid. The love of this character. Very important character to me. Death is like up there with Harley, but I'm not as obsessed with Death.
I try to avoid her.
Yeah. As I am with Harley. However, and it's mostly because her appearances are few and far between compared to Harley. Right. Okay. And she's an important character to me because it's, besides Harley Quinn, Batman the Animated Series, or anything like that, she was a major character in something that really just erupted my love of graphic art and comics. She became a character that I wasn't always the silver-haired person in front of you. I used to dye my hair black a lot. And she was my go-to cosplay.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I dressed up as her on Halloween, and she was my go-to cosplay. It was always Death or Eric Draven.
Oh, okay.
I used to always dress up as either Death or Eric Draven because I loved black makeup and I loved eyeliner and I had dark hair.
Well, and that's the thing that works so great about her character design. It's simple yet effective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that is, I love the character, and when I found that, I was just like, oh, I'm going to use this for my tattoo.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now number 11 with a personal story.
Again, death.
Oh, all right, double death.
Double death. This is number 1 of Death, the High Cost of Living. Neil Gaiman. And it is basically her first crossover to her own book with Vertigo. Obviously, you can see that. So death has to take the form of a human just to go, not just to pick people up, when they're dead, but she has to take the form of a human to reconnect with what humankind is like. She has to do this every 100 years, right? And she takes this form, and this is actually not Sandman, not anything else, but this is the first time I actually experienced this character. My brother actually had a graphic novel of Death, the High Cost of Living. And I remember my sister and my brother both reading it, and I was just like, I gotta read this because I gotta be like the cool kids and read it. And like my older brother and sister, talking about this, I have to read it. And what I did, it changed things for me. One, it was a new introduction to an addiction. This character, when I made the decision to get my first tattoo, I said it has to be representative of something that will always be a part of my life because of some impact it has made on me as a person. And the character of Death, in particular in this story, where she encounters a suicidal teenager. And somehow through her interaction with him, talking about how precious life is, it changes his mind. He's now, after having this interaction and this experience with death that he calls Dee Dee, okay, has convinced him that while life can be horrible and tough and everything like that, it's precious. We get one and we have to live it. And I have in particular diagnosed problems with mental illness. And I had a time period in my life where things could be very dark. And it gets hard every once in a while, but I always remember some of the things that this character has said, in particular in this story. And it helps me. It helped turn a corner for me. And I mean, obviously I've you can't really tell, like, but I've read this thing. Like, this is not getting any 9.0 or anything like that. Like, it's been read all 3 issues. You see these spine ticks.
Then it's serving its purpose in the best way that it could.
Exactly. and that, like, I hope that anyone that has like any problems like that, they know, one, that there's always help out there. It doesn't have to come from death. It doesn't have to come from a comic book character. It can. You can be inspired to be your best person because of these fantastic stories that we have out there. You can decide to write your own world and your own life because you are here.
Right. You can create your own narrative.
And that narrative, you are the master of your fate, the captain of your destiny. And you don't get to be that anymore if you're not here.
Right.
So always.
Well, it's so cool when something that's written can touch you in such a profound way, though. The power of words and a creative mind that can put them down in such a way that it touches you on a personal level.
And I think that a lot of people would agree that a lot of the writing of Neil Gaiman can do that for people. And him, I it's hard to like equate what that story has meant to me. Even like, Jesus Christ, like this shit came out in like 1993, you know. I read it after that time period, and it just meant so much to have that and to always have that, to look back on whenever it can get a little bit, especially over the last couple of years, can get rough. And now that I've found, this weird purpose in this expensive paper, and I'm here, and I'm staying.
Awesome.
Well, good. And I'm glad that it's someone's personal touch of writing that can help you out like that. Because that's always there.
And that's why it's here. It's also, I carry it everywhere, to remind me.
That is a great personal story.
Something there to remind me.
No, except not like Naked Eyes, always something there to remind me, but good song.
It's the life of a former DJ. Just
songs
just drop in your head off of weird stuff. Anyways,
that's just I didn't even have to be a DJ for that to happen, because wow,
grew up listening to music, yeah.
And I'm the 41-year-old that knew you were talking about Naked Eyes.
All right, let's roll. Well, I got one more here.
One more.
This is the spec pick.
Oh, that's right. We got another show to get on, Rob. I forgot.
Oh, I
have to cook dinner too in between all this. So,
man, order a pizza, because
I did that on Sunday for
football. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm a pizza eater. I would order a pizza 3 days
I already
in a row.
Steak seasoned and dry aging. The potatoes are staged in the oven, ready to get turned on, and the carrots are in a basket, ready to go out on the grill. So
I don't want to sound like a stereotype, but I'm an Irish girl. Give me potatoes every day.
No, that's my wife.
You know what?
Potatoes.
It's all about potatoes and bread and something to dip it in.
Well, I didn't make any.
Let's get to that spec pick so we can get Rob to his potatoes.
I am not a spec person very much. In fact, that news that came out earlier today, it made me think, man, do I want to pull a Wolverine? And I decided to stay with what I have here. I'm going to be true to myself here, because, guys, I can be really excited about the fact that Hugh Jackman is going to be playing Wolverine again. Yeah, did y'all hear that in the chat? Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that in the chat?
It's what they're teasing.
Man, Hugh Jackman is saying, yeah, sure, on his Twitter. I'm going to believe it, because I decide I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to be happy about that moment. But anyways, I decided not to. I decided to be true to myself. And you know what? I decided I'm going to pick something that I hope gets made into another and I'm going to put this out there in the universe. There is another Black Label series from DC that I believe we have one issue left of it. So it's recent. And as a 41 or almost 41, I'm not 41 yet. That happens Saturday.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Yep.
As a 40-year-old woman, let's not take time away here. Sometimes I wake up, back hurts for no reason, right? And I have like this horrible arthritic ankle that it's hard to, do shit now. Where when I was young, I was always constantly, let's get up in the club and let's, no, can't do that anymore. Shit.
Don't want to.
Don't want to, can't, even if I wanted to.
Anymore either. Yeah.
So I love this character, and I love the fact that we're getting this story where Catwoman is in her 50s and she's having problems with her knees and she's having problems moving around. And Catwoman Lonely City tells this tale of Catwoman who has just gotten out of jail, spending 10 years in jail for a murder she did not commit. That murder is that of Batman. She didn't do it. In fact, beautiful moments in flashbacks involving all of that, and you find out what really happened.
Is he really dead? Or
he is really dead in this story. Catwoman Lonely City, he is really dead. 10 years prior to that moment, it's a massacre known as Fool's Night. You lose Batman. You lose Batman. You lose Commissioner Gordon. You lose Nightwing. You lose Harley Quinn. Like, all these characters wiped out. She is accused of the murder of Batman in particular. She didn't do it. This story is her getting out of jail. And it's all very much like Orson Welles, Citizen Kane, like Rosebud. Okay. Like, right before Batman dies, he whispers something to her. And she's like, when she gets out of jail, one track mind, she's like, I'm putting together a team and I'm going to find out what the hell he meant by this. We got to make it. We got to get into the cave. We got to do this, that, and the other. And we're going to figure this out because it has happened because, of who he was. Now, this particular this is not the first issue. I picked this particular cover because we have Poison Ivy, beautiful BBW, Poison Ivy right here. This is Poison Ivy in a way I can finally cosplay her. I love it. Poison Ivy in particular is spending most of her time in South America. She owns a coffee business. Wow. She makes coffee. Really good coffee apparently, to fund her activities. Yeah. She has coffee to fund her activities. Well, so Catwoman is, trying to do her thing, right? In a world where Harvey Dent, Two-Face, is mayor.
Wow.
And supposedly he's turned over a new leaf, but you end up finding out he is just as nefarious as he could ever be. What is with this like mega?
Gary's one of these channels that attracts a lot of porn bots. They think
and I have to.
Why would they think that anyone would want to go there when you can just go to Pornhub for free?
I don't know, but They love Gary.
And I don't know why. It happens at least once a live show.
Yeah, wow, guys.
Gary he
And
watches
now
a
I'm
lot,
getting an heiress not
apparently,
letting
and
me
now
block
he's
them.
getting tracked by them.
Mm.
We don't
Well,
kink
if one
shame
of you
though, Gary.
moms could block them.
But yeah, that I want a uh, a uh, a story where I want this. I want it. I can have it animated. I don't even really want it like live action. Screw live action. No. I want it animated, and I want to see the whole, Selena Kyle with her bad knees and her back, and
Which
still,
makes sense, damn it. If you've been running around on
yeah.
the rooftops in high heels
Mhm.
for years.
Yeah. And I love it. I love that um she's pulled Ivy in, and Ivy's into it, and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And she's got, you know, a team, and she's doing all this just so she can figure out what the hell Bruce meant with what
And
he
who really
said.
killed him,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, she wants to find out who is behind all of that mess that ended up wiping out Nightwing, Batman, Harley Quinn, all of that. She is like, I got to figure this out. And meanwhile, you have Harvey Dent, Two-Face, running Gotham, running for re-election. His opponent is Barbara Gordon.
Wow.
Barbara Gordon is running for mayor as well.
But it's cool she made it out of it alive.
Yeah, but she's got her own, like like she's still kind of upset about it, obviously, because it wiped
Emotional
out her.
baggage.
Yeah, it wiped out her dude, and it wiped out her dad. But I want to see Selena Kyle hanging from a ceiling, complaining about her knees. Like, I love that. I love that. It's yes, because that's me.
Gives it that touch of reality.
It's like, yeah, she got old, and it's cool because we all get old. We all have knees.
Shh.
Yes, we do.
Some of us get them replaced,
Right?
and then we're bionic. But
Oh, it's
All right. Well, Carrie, thank you so much. That was a wonderful and fun selection of books.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, I got kind of going on a.
Oh no,
going
there's
on a-
nothing to apologize about.
Oh, we
It's
started
really
it
long.
early. It was our fault too. That's the organic nature of the show.
Right. But we're gonna do like I do at this part. We're gonna go around the horn. Everyone's gonna say what they have coming up. So, Rob, we'll of course start with you, sir.
Oh well, tomorrow's what third? No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll pick up some comics. I'll show up on Comic Vets channel. Thursday, there's a CGC unboxing with some Golden Age books, and then Saturday on Only Slabs, which is the only reason to watch my channel half the time. We have Lee Polanski showing up. If anybody can follow up. Last week's episode with Nerdy Girl, it will be Lee because Lee usually brings some. He's the guy who supplies books to some of our guests in the past.
Oh.
So where the big hitters go, they go to see Lee. And then we'll just round it out back to Monday for mail call.
Which can be pretty epic in itself.
I don't remember what's on that upcoming mail call. I'm about 4 weeks out right now trying to even out my spending now that I have 2 tuitions to pay for.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What a time for the stock market to go down.
Now, right?
Right when I need it most.
Now, Carrie, what's coming up for you on your channel?
Oh, we've got our usual stuff. We got, tomorrow I think we're going to put something together for What's Happening Wednesday. I do that. It's an audio show that I throw up on YouTube with my boyfriend, Joe. I think we were talking about getting into some spooky stuff. So we'll find out. We did this a series where we were both picking movies for each other to watch that we thought we were, the other one was going to hate. But it's going to be kind of like that, except we're not trying to like make each other, hate a movie. We're going to actually pick stuff that's just, we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be spooky, Halloween, horror, whatever. I think I'm going to do something special Saturday afternoon for my birthday. But I'm not sure what that's going to entail yet.
Whole day wine.
I'm not much of a drinker.
Cleaner.
I'm thinking a lot of coffee.
Fair enough.
And Joe is enthralled with all your Conan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
there's plenty of it on the channel.
Oh yeah, he noticed, and he's just like, "Wait, what is this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Gary.
He is the Conan guy.
He loves Conan."
Joe, I do Savage Saturday comic reviews. There's Conan on my channel all over the place. I have a daily short that's a Conan cover. So
oh yeah, he's in. I'm sure. But we've got What's Happening Wednesdays. We got something probably on Saturday. I've got my usual. I'll probably be doing my usual weekly comic review on Sunday. Spoiler-tastic, of course. I call it spoiler-tastic, where I get down into the nitty-gritty of what happened in the comics I read. And I'm going to be putting together, actually, I keep on talking about this, and I'm going to actually put it out there on this right now, so that it'll entice me to follow through. But I've been wanting to do something called 30 to be a Whovian.
Okay.
And
you're a Doctor Who fan.
I am a huge Doctor Who fan. When you call someone a Doctor Who fan, I don't think that even really covers me. I
don't want to get down the rabbit hole. Sorry. Go ahead.
I named one of my cats after a character from Doctor Who. So yeah.
Rory?
Rory? No.
Oh, okay. Because I had a lot of people who named their pets Rory intentionally after that character.
It's gotta be Rose.
I love Rory Williams. I really do. I think that is one of the greatest love stories ever told, is Rory and Amy. But actually, my cat's full name is Professor River Ravioli Song.
Oh, nice.
We added the ravioli because that's it. But he, when we first found him, we thought right at the beginning he was a girl, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm naming it River. And
River Song.
Yeah, River Song. But 30 to Make a Whovian is 30 episodes / arcs in modern New Who, the reboot era, that I think that if somebody were to watch them, it would make you want to go back and watch the rest of it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And I want to do that series, especially considering we have coming next month. We have the Centennial, the BBC Centennial episode, where we will have a regeneration.
Thank you.
I actually very much liked Jodie Whittaker. The problem was the writing.
Yes, much the same problem with Capaldi. Wasn't so much I had a problem with Capaldi.
No.
I didn't so much have a problem with Capaldi, but his writing was horrible.
Oh no!
Look, I'm going to save today by shooting a golden arrow into a UFO.
You didn't like Stephen Moffat's writing for Capaldi?
No, I thought they took such a great actor and ruined his run on Doctor Who with the writing that they had.
Except that one moment with that "Don't go to war" speech.
Well, there's that, and then there's also the whole wrapping up the River Song story arc.
Yes, the Husbands of River Song, right. Classic. Yep. Oh my God, definitely part of the 30. Yep. Definitely part of the 30.
Made me have to go back to watch the library,
which honestly was the first 2 episodes I ever watched of Doctor Who.
Oh,
yeah, was the library episode. So it's no surprise why River would be one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, and coming up on my channel this Thursday, as I noted earlier, we have Dope Comics, and then we have a special Friday edition. We do not have a Saturday because Madam and Master Blaster could only make this Friday work. So we are having a special, the 1011 with Madam and Master Blaster, Friday night at 7 p.m.
So 3 this week.
Yes, it's a heavy the 1011 week. I
Wow.
fit some people on the schedule that can only do it on certain days.
So is it the 33-3?
The 10-3-3-3-3-3. So I was joking about it last week that this is a 10-1-1 heavy week.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to thank everybody that was in the audience and in the chat for turning out and supporting my co-host, supporting my guests. Thank you guys very much. If you don't know, and you should if you watch my channel, everyone's links is in the description below. Please go down to the description and follow and sub these fine people and give them your support. And guys, thank you for a great show. Rob, it was nice to have you back on, sir. I appreciate it. And Carrie, it was nice to meet you and have you on the show. Thank you for being so passionate about DC Comics, and thank you
Have
for
me on
sharing your
anytime.
stuff.
Have me on anytime. This was fun.
Oh,
Awesome.
I love doing it. But that's it for now, guys. Until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code Keep It Casual for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.